Good afternoon, everybody. We are welcoming all of you again to the second part of the InnoForum event. Without any further delay, we would like to invite Professor Grigoroudis to the podium, along with our esteemed guest speakers for the second panel of the InnoForum. Thank you very much.
Okay, I think we are ready to begin. I know that this is somehow a difficult time after the lunch break, but we will make it, okay? So, right now, in it. Okay. Okay, so our session now we have has to do with some experiences from the whole innovation process. The first presentation will be by Eri Pavlaki, which is co-founder and director from Women Do Business, right? And this is a very interesting topic, a very interesting title of the presentation, Fail Fast to Succeed. And this is very important because failure is not is not much discussed in innovation forums and so on, but it is important, right? So the floor is yours, Ms. Pavlaki.
Super. Thank you. So, hello from me too. Sorry for you to have the back. Okay, thank you for understanding. My name is Eri Pavlaki. I'm co-founder of Women Do Business and CEO of Star Sleep. And as we said, our topic is fail fast to succeed. So, there are some things that you know about myself, or maybe you have heard. First of all, and I will start about sharing some things that are visible. I will share some things that you maybe didn't know about myself, then some failures about Women Do Business, and some failures from my experience about our startup, Star Sleep. So I hold a master's degree in international law, human rights, and diplomacy. I'm a public speaker the last 19 years. I remember when I first spoke in public, I was like 14 years old. I have presented in front of 3,000 people in total the past years. I'm a youth trainer, an adult trainer, social entrepreneur, startupper. I've been awarded in top 100 women in social enterprises in Europe for 2022. And I've been winner of Vodafone Foundation on my honor, awarded in several incubators and accelerators, interviews in television, radio, meetings with ministers, ambassadors, members of government. There is a point I'm sharing all this. And just to know, I've been 4 times national champion in kickboxing. But there are several things that you don't know about myself. First thing is that I failed to enter university first time. Actually, I scored 7.5 out to 20, 7.5. Then I've been working since I was 16 years old. I wasn't a good employee. I hated to work as an employee, and I have changed many jobs the last 15 years. I wasn't selected to lead teams because of a bossy character. And before Women Do Business, I was living with 400 euros per month, included rent to pay. Some more things that you didn't know about myself is that I couldn't or I wouldn't take over our family business. We have a jewelry shop in Heraklion, which actually was suffocating. I was constantly arguing with my father. It was a well-stood business, but I didn't like it. So in conscious mind, I left. I am a great saleswoman, but I felt miserable. Every time something was missing, I was bored really easy, and I didn't feel that I was evolving. I wasn't elected in municipal elections in 2019. I was a freelancer for a multinational company from US, and actually I was living the American dream. I wanted to be a millionaire in 18 months. And guess what? That didn't happen. And actually I was struggling to make this work, and I was earning for like 500 euro per month, but I was struggling. And sometimes you just have to move forward and you have to understand that this is not for you. I'm also founder of a nonprofit organization, I'm Still a Child, which didn't become sustainable, and it was all of me because of my own restricted beliefs about money. So they're giving us money, they were asking me to donate money, and I was always, no, don't give us the money, go directly to the institution, go to somewhere else. Imagine that when I quitted, the next council, in the next 3 months, they raised over 15,000 euro. It's crazy. And the last thing, I'm not married and I don't have children. And why I'm sharing this? Because I'm co-founder of Women Do Business, and we are battling the elimination of stereotypes. And in Crete, in Greece, in general in the world, but especially here, we do have stereotypes. And for many people around us, for the society, for many partners, friends, and etc., the fact that a female entrepreneur is not married and she doesn't have children is a fact of failure. So I thought I should share something about that. Women Do Business. What is Women Do Business? First of all, we're a non-profit organization who promotes female entrepreneurship and the elimination of stereotype, as I said. We started our activities on May 2019. And since the past 3 years almost, we have supported over 1,700 women, and more than 10 businesses have started with our support from Women Do Business. We support women with an holistic approach of 4 pillars. First is empowerment, then we have education, 3-month academies, workshops, webinars, mentoring, one-on-one, and of course, networking. We've been awarded 4 times for our social impact in a national level and 1 time in European level. There are some failures during this process. And first thing was that when we started like 3 years ago, we were 4 co-founders. We were 4 women, 4 friends, 4 partners. The day we had the appointment to the lawyer to sign the statute, 2 of them resigned. They said that they couldn't keep up with the rhythm, or there were like constant misunderstandings each other. And I have to tell you that at that point of my life, because it was the first time I was trying to do something, an idea on my own, I felt like having a punch in my stomach. I felt like I wasn't worth enough. People are not believing in me. Thank God I had my partner and co-founder, Natasha, that believed in our vision, support me, and she said that we're going to do it anyway, because our vision and what we want to offer is bigger. So thank God they quit, because now I can see that they will be a burden, a huge burden. Without them, we can fly, and we're moving fast and we're moving forward. Then, as a non-profit organization, we are not, I have to say, a non-income organization, because it's a common mistake. An organization, to be sustainable, we need income, and we have several channels of income. Our main aim is social impact and not profit. So one of the channels is European funding programs. In order to understand them, it took us almost 1 year to find what's going on with the whole ecosystem. And another year that we were submitting and then we were rejecting. Then we decided to collaborate with a professional. But the professional, he was just taking our money to submit proposals that were determined to reject because he was submitting projects that we didn't have the capacity to win. So that was a huge lesson to learn. And another thing is that one time I remember, like 2 years ago, we had this amazing vision that we want to do this event in a specific venue. We were like so visionaries. We want this venue. This event must happen in this specific venue. But we had an unreliable partner back then to the venue, and he was constantly changing the terms, changing the condition, and like he was compromising our values. And like 2 days before the event, we decided to change the venue. But imagine when you're planning an event, you're planning it like 3 months ago. We had all the press releases, we had all the posters, we had the posts in social media, and we decided to change it because our values were higher than any other communication plan or whatever. So what we have learned, that you can see bad partnerships from the beginning. Sometimes we don't want to see, but you can see them. And if you're arguing constantly for the minor things, this is a sign. And I'm not telling that everything is going to be perfect in a partnership. Of course, we're going to argue. Of course, we're going to be angry, sad, or whatever. But with communication and discussion, we resolve it. But if you argue constantly, it's not the deal for you. Then sometimes it takes time. It just takes time, and you have to learn on your own. You have to learn on your own in order to supervise and in order to be able to guide. And of course, adjust fast and don't compromise your values, your personal values and your business values. I'm also, as I said, recently I have the hat of a startupper. I'm CEO of StarSleep. So StarSleep is an online platform which actually provides an experience, the amazing experience of sleeping outdoors in nature under the stars. And at the same time, it gives the opportunity for hosts to have an additional income. Hosts can be private landowners, can be hoteliers, or vineyards owners. In StarSleep, we started like a year ago. In the last months, we're like accelerating so fast and we're growing so fast. So imagine that in September, we were just an idea, but we were accepted in Accelerator Capsule T as one of the top 10 rising companies in tourism industry in Greece, and the only one in Crete for 2022. We were like already discussing with investors. We already succeeded to be in exhibitions with an amazing feedback. We have over 1,000 people in our for leads on a waiting list, and we already have our first sales. But there is always this but. During this process, when I remember we first started, I was like, okay, what do we need? We need some expert for finances. So I reached out to an expert, a professional. So be careful of these professionals. And I was like, okay, please, you will do the finance, I will do the business development, and like divided as we should be all the tasks in the team. Like some days before we submit in a contest, I was like in my comfort zone. He will do the finance, he was sending me the Excels. I didn't even look at them. And some days before we submit in a contest, I'm realizing some huge mistakes in the budgeting, like hundreds of thousands of euro. And we continued to communicate, and he was sending me back the budgeting, but the budgeting is still wrong. And it didn't make sense for me to advise the advisor, you see. And then I understand, like the second month of our startup, that they are not all full stack developers. So I had this impression that everyone who built up a website is a developer, but there are so many differences. We had some legal issues about positioning the beds. For me, the vision is, okay, let's put the bed to Mountain of Psiloritis or to every beach of the world, but this couldn't stand legally. And we had also the perceptive that we are an accommodation company, which we are not. Then in Capsule T, we weren't awarded in the top 3 finalists at the end. And we lost 33,000 euro in pre-sales. Why? Because we wanted to have results. And we booked the clients, we booked the customers in order to present results at the final, but we didn't have the product ready. So when we had the product ready, we didn't have the customers. Actually, before I come here, I had this phone call that I already had another fail. We already had another fail. We lost a customer because of our accountants. They were arguing each other. We had ready the customer, and because of the accountants, we lost the customers because they weren't sure about what we are doing. So if you are doing something innovative, you have always to battle even with the people around you to be more supportive with what you are doing. And of course, new expenses are going to come no matter what you have planned, no matter the most detailed budget, you are going to have new expenses. Sorry, I can't see the time is very small about me. Can you tell me the time? Okay, so a good phrase that a friend shared with me is a CEO has to know. A CEO always has to know, and there is no excuse for that. You have to know about budgeting, you have to know about finance, you have to know about marketing. At least you have to have an idea about everything. So in order to be able to understand what's going on in your company. Sometimes you have to pay in order to find the right partners, even if you don't have, even if you are bootstrapping, that means if you're giving your time, your energy without even paying. And this is what we did with our finance advisor. And thank God we feel secure now. And of course, pivot if needed. That means change your plan, adjust, and change your business model. So from an accommodation company, we went to an experience company. And that totally was a shifting point for our startup. And of course, visibility, network, and the journey, most of the times are more important than winning a contest, because after the accelerator capsule T, we already had a solid business model. We had an amazing network. We had over 19 collaboration, and we already had investors that came to us and asked us to meet each other. And this is my amazing motto. The more you fail, the more chances you have to succeed. You know, we live in a society that failure is stigmatized. We are measuring our value based on our results. And this is not the way. The more failures you have, entrepreneurship is about failure, but of course you have to minimize the risks. Of course you have to prepare yourself, but do it fast, do it again and again and again. The only person that they're not failing are the person that are sitting on their beds, they are changing TV, and they're not doing anything every day, or the deads, I would say. So just every day you have the opportunity to fail, but do it with a minimum risk. You can find us in our social media, Women Do Business, starsleep.gr, and of course you can reach me out in my personal LinkedIn, Eri Pavlaki. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I think it's time to go to the next presentation. Mr. Uman from Leuven, right?
Correct.
And we'll have a presentation. About failure again. About a Greek drama, right? From Sophocles, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, thank you very much for a wonderful presentation. You put the bar very high. Thank you for that. I'm not going to make any nasty comments to a four times international kickbox champion. Yeah, don't want to get my ass kicked today. Anyway, I can totally relate to all the failures you were talking about. And I unfortunately do not have 2 slides full of successes, so we'll just stick to the failures. Over the last 8 years, I've been working with 3 different products, 3 different companies, and I would just like to tell you a little bit about the 3 phases we went through. Whenever you're ready, sir. Anyway, my name is Ries Bouwman. I'm from the University in Leuven. Originally, I'm Dutch, but I'm living in Austria now for 21 years. I quite like it there, although I must say that the weather here in Crete is a lot better. All right, so what is a drama? I mean, you Greeks know that the best, obviously. You started it, you invented it. But in theory, there are 3 phases. So there's the exposure, there's the setting of the stage, there's the actors, there's the protagonists. And then at some point they run into a conflict and a complication, if you like. And then at the end, there is comedy or tragedy. Yeah, both can happen. But that's life. That's been life for the last 3,000 years. And I'm pretty sure it'll be like that for the next 3,000 years as well. So the products I would like to talk about, changing now. Yes, wonderful. Is these three. The one on the left, Omi's Apfelstrudel, is a drink that tastes like an apple strudel. Don't know if you've ever been to Austria, but that is a typical pastry in Austria. And we made a drink out of it. Then there's the beer wheelie, a mechanism to automatically close and open your beer bottle or your drinking bottle so that no flies or bees can come in. And the last one is the Guardmine. So the project still ongoing, is a mobile smart safe. So let's start with Act 1, the exposure. The exposure here, or the protagonists, are basically the Omi, the grandmother, making the apple strudel. And in fact, it's easy, isn't it? Making a drink. You need a bottle, you need a cap, you need a label, maybe a G10 code, and some juice and some cinnamon aroma, and you're done. Right? That's how we started. It's easy. Let's do this. We'll be billionaires. Because we are coming from the country where Red Bull comes from, we can do that too. And it was that easy to start, to be honest. And we're talking about prototyping here, okay? So there was no prototype. We just filled it, put a label on it. The label evolved a little bit over the years, but that was it. No prototype. You don't need that. Having said that, already getting this one drink ready, and I saw you laughing before, and you know how difficult it can be. It's not just that simple. You have to go through different types of companies, you have different suppliers, you have different rules that you have to work with. But anyway, so this was our prototype, very easy done. Act 1, protagonists are there. Let's go to the second product. Again, fairly simple mechanism. I mean, it was pretty clever, the guy who came up with it, my partner back then. I mean, you see how it works. And it's just a little bit of plastic, so how difficult can it be? Well, we went through a couple of prototypes. Drawing takes about a day, CAD drawing takes about 5 days. Then you do some rapid prototyping, and at the end of the day, you produce your series. So within a couple of months, you can have something like this up and running. If you know you have your contacts, etc. So again, not that difficult, right? Again, I'm a millionaire. I'm not, so just keep the tension. And this is the third product, the Guardmine, the Smart Safe. We clearly had better designers here, as you can see. Wasted a lot of money on that, but it works for investors because this is what it looked like before. Okay, so we went through a long process of getting to a certain design, getting functionality, and again, everything went as planned. I'm a millionaire. Okay, so this is the final design. Very complex thing, but it works. It's basically there to keep your cell phone or your money or your credit card safe in a place, and then you can lock it up. And if you go swimming and somebody tries to steal it, a loud alarm goes, or you can activate GPS tracking, that sort of stuff. Okay. That was Act 1, people. Everything's still good. We're on a roll. These are the protagonists. These are the players in the game. But then complications start. And this is maybe where failure starts, but this is also where entrepreneurship starts. These are the things you have to come through because it will happen to all of you. Remember the drink? Just a little bit of juice. Very easy. This is the calculation of one bottle of apple juice, all right? There's like 25 different things that could affect the price. And you say, well, you know, it's not too bad. The problem is, or the good thing is, the gross margin was about 50% in the beginning. Reality is, we cannot sell one bottle for 10,000 euros. We can sell one bottle for 50 cents, 60 cents. So we were actually making 25 cents a bottle. We had 10 people working in that company. You start doing the math. How many bottles you need to sell from a product nobody knows, nobody needs, right? Only water is our primary drinking thing. Everything else is luxury. We were pissing money away. But we built a strong brand. Everybody still knows the brand in Austria, but we were not making any money. Oh yeah, there's regulations. These are only Austrian regulations to bring a drink into the market. Okay, and they all have an opinion, and they're all there being paid to have an opinion and to make your life miserable. All right, for apple juice, I kid you not, I learned so much about regulations that I now know how people can produce really cheap foods because they know how to duck all these regulations. We were doing standard Austrian apple juice, real juice. And we got busted on every side. And then you go across the border, and you get the FDA and you get other regulations. It's a lot of fun. So this gave us a lot of headaches, a lot of work, a lot of money went lost there. So complicated. It was more complicated than we thought. Back to our beer wheelie, to the mechanism saving our bottles or our bees from drowning in alcohol. The competition is good. Okay, especially if you bring a new product to the market that people don't know, if you're the only one, you have to open the market. You have to pay every penny of awareness out there, right? So what we call a pull market. You have to pull everybody into your shop. So a little bit of competition is good, unless they have a patent. Here's a funny story. We know about patents. I knew by then about patents. And we did our research in Austria with the Austrian Patent Office. And they all told us it's good. You're good to go. It's in German there, so you can't understand it, but they basically say there's nothing out there like it. You can get a patent for it, go for it. Then 1 month, so we founded the company, we invested the money on the molding, et cetera, et cetera. We put 30,000 euros on the line. And then a month later, somebody on Facebook said, hey, I think this is patented by somebody else. Look at this. There's a video from 2018, a guy telling on television that it's patented. Holy crap. So we actually looked up the patent ourselves. Didn't have experts doing it anymore. We did it ourselves, and see there's a patent from the same freaking organization that told us that there is no patent. They couldn't even find the exact same mechanism in their own database. Going back to the point, if you want to do something, you have to do it yourself. You can pay advisors, you can pay agencies, you can pay them all, and good money too. Most of the time it's wasted because A, you're not learning anything. B, they don't care if they screw up or not. They only care that you pay at the end of the day. They don't care about your product as much as you do. So again, complication, because this was our original plan. Really quickly, by the end of the year, we were millionaires. Bam, everything was stopped. Couldn't do anything. So we spent 1.5 years discussing with the guys owning the patent if we could get a license to build our product nonetheless. We're almost there, but this wasn't planned for in our Excel sheet. Then we have the guard mine. Fantastic piece of technology, 6 PCBs in there, a lot of software, a lot of design. We did a lot of prototyping, rapid prototyping. We built some first pre-series. We really did, we learned, we did a lot of stuff on getting this all together, including the whole thing. I mean, looks complicated, looks green, looks orange, it's good. A lot of software in there, that's always good. An app, you need an app, everybody needs an app. And then our plan was ready. We knew that 1.5 years later, we'd all be millionaires. Everything would be running. Oh yeah, that was a little problem there. COVID, right? We started designing this thing 2019, end of 2019. 2020, we were supposed to be on the market. And then our production company already said, microchips might be a problem. This will go away quickly. There's no problem getting microchips. It took us 2 years to get microchips. Last year, May, we were supposed to be on the market and we were supposed to get 5,000 microchips. On the day that we were supposed to get the chips, we got an email saying, you're not getting the chips. So we had to go and look for new chips, new design of the PCB and everything. You're already spending money you didn't have because we were supposed to be on the market last year. So I had to spend 120,000 euros more than expected. And then this guy comes along and says, hey, wait a minute. Everything's too cheap in Europe. Let's start a little war over there, which, by the way, I find really, really, really bad. So I don't want to make jokes about that, but it did change the whole business we were in. Things got more expensive, especially in Western Europe. Hourly rates went up, et cetera, in a time where you already don't have any money anymore. Is that a failure? Maybe, maybe not. Can anybody predict a war? Can anybody predict a pandemic? Probably not. If we could, we wouldn't be sitting here. Having said that, there were a lot of other things that we should have done differently with agencies, with advisors, etc. So did these 3 projects end in comedy or tragedy? I mean, should you start doing this at all, or should you just run? We had an exit with Omis at the end of the day. It was funny because what you said this morning, between the 7th and the 8th of June, if you would have looked at our company somewhere around the 15th of February 2018, we were bankrupt. 16th of February 2018, we all walked away with a little bit of money, not enough to go into pension, but a little bit of money, and we're all happy. So it really depends. But if you stick to it, if you keep fighting, you might get somewhere. Because we had this patent issue with the beer wheelie, we had to find ways around it. And there were ways around it. I have a different clip that would go around the patent. It's not optimal for the usage, but it would go around the patent. We could come up with a solution for cans. We could come up with a game, right? So you could actually play games with this thing, and it's all of a sudden a game. It's no longer a drink protector. You find ways around it. When you're deep enough in your hole, when you really need the money, you'll get creative. Right, and with Guardmine, here we are. This is last week. First production is ready. It's coming to Austria right now. We can start making money instead of burning it after a year and a half, which is about time. My daughter is turning 18 and she needs a driving license, so I need to make some money somewhere. But yeah, this is how journeys can look like, and it's typically in my experience. These 3 acts. You start, everything's clear. You know what the product is. You know what the market is. You've done your business model. Clear. Then you start, and then nothing happens the way you planned it, right? So the complications come in, and that's where entrepreneurship begins. How do you deal with these complications? Can you deal with these complications? If you keep on it, you might end up with comedy. You might also end up with tragedy. You cannot always foresee this. I mean, it was said this morning, everybody's going to fail, even the biggest ones. Sorry to say so. The Greek Empire failed at some point. Roman Empire failed at some point. Apple will fail at some point, no doubt. They will. They will not be here forever. So it's part of the game. Enjoy it as long as it lasts. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really very interesting, your presentation. We will discuss. We will decide later if there are failures or not. Okay, if there are tragedies or comedies. Okay, so let's move to the next presentation by Kostas Hatzoulakis, who is a scientific consultant in Zen Agro PC, and we will see about the precision irrigation software at farm level. So the floor is yours.
Thank you also for the invitation to share with you this very important event. I will speak not for failure, but just how to improve the situation in another sector, in agriculture, which is under difficult situation everywhere due to the climate change and migration, lack of workers. So we will speak about improving the farmers' acceptance of Zenirware, which is a precision irrigation software at farm level, because this is the very difficult thing, how to change the mentality of the farmers, and especially the older farmers. Our company has established in 2018 in order to work on the transformation of the agriculture to digital or to smart agriculture. And the first thing that we started was precision irrigation, since I had a very large experience on that as a researcher in the Olive Tree Institute, and of course as director the last 7 years. So I have a lot of experience, not only here in Crete, but all over Greece, but also in China, Pakistan, Iran, Jordan, India. And I notice everywhere this difficulty, how to change the mentality and, of course, make the farmers to get much more than they get. The problem, what is the problem for agriculture, is the water. And due to the climate change and to the increase of demand for tourism, the problem will be in agriculture. So we try to increase the water use efficiency in order to get more with less of water. And of course, there are two ways, especially one way is to increase water use efficiency. That means to produce more with less water. And of course, to utilize the low quality waters. That means saline water and reclaimed water. Maybe you are not familiar with agriculture, but like in many business, you cannot increase the productivity increasing some factors. There are a level up. So the same happens also for water. And as you increase the quantity of water, you can increase the yield, but up to a certain point. Unfortunately, our farmers do not know where to stop. And in many cases where water is still cheap or free, they over-irrigate in order to be sure that they will satisfy the crop and they will have the much production. As you can see here in the curve, you can see after increasing the water, then maybe you will have problems in the production, also in quality, but also in the crop. And as you can see here, this is an estimation worldwide. Only 50% up to 60% depends of the water applied is used efficiently by the crop. You can see that about 25% is lost during application, during distribution, and about 12% in farm distribution. So there is a big part that we can save a lot of water. Of course, like even in Crete, but in many countries all over the world, especially in the underdevelopment, most farmers irrigate empirically. So a lot of, and if they use traditional irrigation system, then the loss of water is exceeding 50% or 100%. The irrigation scheduling is tools like some softwares that were developed during after 2000 up to 2010 give an information how much and when you have to irrigate. Such a tool we have developed our company utilizing the experience that we had and many projects that we have worked with funded either by European Union or by the Greek government. So we produce this software. How it works, as you can see here in this figure, we take all information about the crop and the soil, the irrigation data, the water availability in the area. We get the information from the soil about the moisture conditions. We have all the information from weather stations, and all these are in a cloud, integrated in a computer, and then we give to the farmers this information when and how much water they have to apply. Of course, I don't go to a specific information because it's more for agronomists. So we use all of this necessary data in order to calculate the water requirements and when to irrigate. And all these data are stored in a database. So upon request, the system combines all the relative information in order to calculate the optimal irrigation dose. You can see here the layout and all these parameters that are taken into consideration in order to have the information, how much water and when to irrigate. Of course, this information goes to the farmers through a message. You can see here the message that the farmers gets in his mobile or through email, and it says, okay, this parcel with specific soil conditions, soil structure, weather conditions, growth stage, irrigation system, and water availability, you have to irrigate today with this amount of water. In any case, if the irrigation dose exceeds the field capacity of the soil, then the system, who has in his in database the soil conditions, give an information to the farmers. So this amount you have to give in 2 doses because the holding capacity of the soil is not so to retain all this amount. So you have to give this amount in 2 doses. We have applied this system, informative system, consultative system to 6 cooperatives here in Crete, plus to many others, many other private firms, organic or typical. And what was the results? As you can see here, as you can see here, we have a water saving, for example, up to 100%. You see how much water they give the different members, the different farmers of the cooperative. This was the average of empirical irrigation, amount of empirical irrigation, and you can see here the optimal amount. You can see how much water have been saved. In another cooperative, you can see that we have a rationalization of irrigation because many farmers exceeded the amount, the optimum amount, but most of the farmers, they irrigate with much less quantity. So it was affecting both quality and production and also the productivity of the plants. What is important after all application of this informative system to the farmers is this slides. As I told you, we have applied this in 6 cooperatives here in Crete. You can see the response of the farmers in different cooperatives. Here you can see in the first cooperative, which is a very good cooperative, he has gained prize for high quality of olive oil from the National Olive Oil Council. Even we have made a lot of discussions and training, only less than the 40% after 3 years, they use the system completely. In other cooperatives, you can see only up to 25%. And the question for us was, why? Since we gave the information in the farmer's mobile, so every farmer has a mobile. So it is very easy to read and to go to open or close the valve. Finally, most of them send, okay, I have 5 parcels, so with different crop, with different soil quality, and so it is very difficult for me to go 4 days, 4 different times to the orchard. I consume a lot of time. Also, I have to spend a lot of money in order for transportation. The other said, okay, there was no water at that time. That's why this were the explanation for this situation. Then, in order to improve this, we think about how to increase the acceptability. And then discussing with a lot of people, we try now to incorporate many other innovations in order to help them and to persuade them to use this. And of course, the use of the system for these cooperatives was free of charge. This is very, very important. Although in the private farms, the fee for using the system is for 4 or 5 parcels only 15 to 25 euros. So it is very, very cheap comparing with by using this system, either for water saving, but also for saving, having a better quality of the product. So the first one was just to incorporate the weather forecast. That means we have now cooperation with National Meteorological Agency. So we get forecast for next 10 days. And if there is prediction for forecast for rain the next day, the system take into account and postpone the irrigation. The second one is just to see how the farmer will avoid this transportation costs. That's why we are incorporating the smart electrovalve system. The message, the SMS now goes to the farmer, but goes also to the smart electrovalve, which turn on and off the irrigation according to the SMS taken from the software Zenireware. Besides that, these smart electrovalves monitor water quantity, pressure, and discharge. And if, for example, there is not enough pressure in order to operate the system, message is sent to the Zenireware. So take into account what happens in order to make the calculation for the next irrigation. And of course, send the irrigation data back to Zenireware to be taken, as I said, into consideration. Finally, in order to make much more easy for the farmers, we are starting to build a mobile application. So the feedback web interface will be transformed to a powerful mobile application with all software functionality. So incorporating all this innovation to our system, we hope that we will increase the acceptability and the use of the farmers. Although in young farmers all over Greece, but also in abroad, they have already started to use. Okay, this is some conclusions, but okay, it's not so important. Thank you for your attention.
Much. I think we have some difficulties with the last speaker. So I suggest to move to some questions, right? From the audience here in the room, or from those watchers from Zoom, please post your questions. Before beginning, I have I think a very fundamental question here. I had your presentation, all of your presentation, and basically we are talking about failures in entrepreneurship, right? But what is failure? One would say that all the experiences you have shared with us are just obstacles. They're not failures. So, what is failure? How you realize that something has been failed? Hey, I would like to hear all of you.
No? Okay. So for me, first of all, there is no word such failure. I don't accept failure. I don't use this word, but I had to compromise with the event here and share some failures based on the society. So what I would say for the society, because we were discussing that with co-founder Natasha, Women to Business, is things that you are doing, and based on the results that we have learned what is success, you are not succeeding. So maybe you have a sale, you are not selling. Maybe you have a prototype, it's not a good prototype. Maybe you want to be a millionaire, you're not being a millionaire. Maybe you want to be first on something, you are second on something. So even if you are second on something and you're winning 1 million, for you, it can be again a failure. So there's no measure for that.
Yeah, excellent point. And I think indeed, I mean, a lot of academics in the room, so I guess understand what I'm saying, that the definition is probably an interesting point. We discussed it this morning with the people who were sitting here then, and success was measured in money, right? So if you make money, you're successful. If you don't make money, you're not successful. My opinion, this is a very strong idea that comes from the West, America. They've posted it on us more and more. Of course, we're living in a capitalist society. We're not living in communism or something similar. I'm not saying that the one is better than the other, but this is the way it is right now. However, I mean, if you, we've had some of these innovation days in Leoben as well, and there was actually a lady there who started one of the most successful businesses in Austria on online sending out of food, organic food. And she came to the idea by visiting an event like this, where we were talking about failures and about success, just about how we do things. And she drove home and she basically said, this is what I want to do. And she's now one of the most successful people in this business in Austria, employing, I don't know, 50, 60, 100 people. They're all very happy to work for her. They go home, they're happy, they can feed their families, they can go on holidays, they can have interesting things, they can go and visit museums, they can study, whatever. I think that is so far more important than just having a couple of more zeros on your bank account. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to have it, but working with people, the way you described before as well, if there's issues, talk about it, et cetera, et cetera. And maybe a second thing is a typical German word from philosophy, Hineininterpretierung. That's what we typically do with failure, right? Oh, I should have done that last year. Last week, I should have done that. Well, last week, you didn't know the things that you know today. So I think as long as you don't make a deliberate decision to hurt anybody else or steal from somebody else, or damage something, if you don't make a deliberate decision in that direction and you just try and give your best, I agree with you, there's no failure.
Okay, coming from the research, I don't accept also the word failure. Even in many experiments have the expected result, then this is a gain, because we make a new schedule, so we will reach our target. So this we have done also in our small company, which, as I told you, we started with irrigation applications, but now we are moving also to many others, also in agriculture.
Okay, thank you. Basically, it's not a tragedy. It's not a comedy, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay. So one point here is that okay, failure or whatever the definition is basically very closely related to entrepreneurship, right? I think all of you have emphasized that. And what is interesting here is that this is not commonly understood by students, by the researchers. Although research is very similar to entrepreneurship, because you are trying to achieve something without, in many cases, knowing the final result. Okay, so this is very interesting. And I think one of you said that nothing goes as planned. I would not say nothing, but few things goes as planned. But this is not as life. So how do you how one can deal with that from the very beginning, that the plan will change, will definitely change? How you can deal with that?
But I think it's been said indeed. Pivoting was a word that was used. If you're not able to deal with that, then don't start it. Then don't start a business. If you want security, if you want to be sure that every month on the 30th of the month your money is there, you can go on your 3 months holidays, etc., without losing your job. If you don't like that, and it's excellent if you don't like that, then don't start a business. It's as simple as that. But with some people it just itches. They either cannot deal with other people, or they have to do it their way, or they have to bring their idea out to the market. Then try that. But if you take the second route, you have to be ready to also accept that you might have made a mistake or a failure, whatever it is that you want to call it, a year ago, and that your product might not actually be as great as you thought it was, but you have to slightly change it. You know, to say it in a very nasty way, take it like a man, bitch, and then just change it and move on.
If you don't have a clear target and a roadmap to do that, taking into account all difficulties that you may have, nothing is given, then I'm sure that you will succeed. I will give my experience. When I was in the institute as a director, my father was very old, 90 years old. So most of the people of my area, they told me, okay, you teach. Trees are not in good situation. Then when I died, okay, I pay attention and I try to persuade them that they can do money. Of course, it took me, with my experience, around 4 years in order to produce high quality olive oil. I exported it also to Japan with very high prices. And I told them, look, I'm not a merchant. I don't want to get money from that, but you can succeed. Try. This is the case.
For me, I would like to share that in general, my mentality is that I confront an obstacle when it appears. So I try to minimize risk, as I said before, but when the obstacle is obvious in front of me, I confront it. But in our society, in Western society, as you said, we don't accept feelings. Feelings are like being angry, being sad, being emotional. And to be an entrepreneur, there is a lot of that. So for me, like, as I told you before I came, I was just discussing with a customer and we just lost 3,000 euro. And I was like, what happened? You were so sure that you are going to invest. And it was like 3,000 euro. And when you are in the beginning, it's a lot of money. It's so I was like, almost, I was calling my partner. I was like, I'm ready to cry. What's going on? And it was like, before I come here, I was like, okay, now I'm here. I'm in this forum. I will take a breath. I'm sad. I'm angry with the accountant. I couldn't find him. So I was like more angry that I couldn't find him. But still, the next hour, I was like, okay, how can I overcome this? I accept my feelings, and then how can I overcome this? What's the next step to do?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think the last speaker is able to connect and start right now. I can see that there are some questions in the on the chat, so we will try to discuss this later from, if I'm not wrong, from Anthony and Harris. I'm noting, I have noted this question. I think the next presenter is Manolis Lerakis, okay, who is a graduate from the Technical University of Crete, and who will share with us his experience with Avuel, with avocado products. Right, Manolis? Can you hear us? Okay. Manoli, can you hear us?
Vangelis, can you hear me also?
Yes, yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, it was a problem with signal. Vangelis, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I hope you're having a good time in Crete, and I would like to share some my experiences from my try to establish a new small industry that works on producing avocado-based products. I work as a freelancer engineering from 1999, and Avuel was a company that was established a few years ago. What was the innovation fact? The innovation fact was that we managed effectively the enzymatic browning and the oxidation of the fat, of the avocado fat. That was a natural process using ultrasonic methods. And we extended the shelf life of those products for more than 6 months. That was the innovation fact. But the reason to be here is that I was requested to share with you the mistakes that I've made since I established the company till today. And the fact is that I've done a lot of mistakes that any normal man could do in a new beginning. Einstein have said that any who has never made a mistake has not tried anything new. So mistake is a part of the game. What was the first mistake that I made? The first mistake that I made was that I thought that I could do almost everything by myself. This is a very, very common problem with innovative companies and the new tries, because capital is never enough. So you have to do a lot of things by yourself. The second mistake that I made was I could not trust anyone that might wanted to invest on my idea, considering that they wanted to steal my technical knowledge. And that was a very, very serious mistake. My third mistake was that I didn't calculate the time needed to catch my goals. That means more expenses, more capital needed, and more time spent by me working in parallel as an engineering, just to earn money and cover those expenses. And everyone who starts something new knows that time is not enough. And time that I deprivated from the commercial issues was very, 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 very important. My fourth mistake was that I was workaholic, believing that I could do things much better than anyone else. So I tried to do a lot of things by myself. And that became a time issue again. After all those mistakes, which was the basic mistakes that I've made, and I just want to share them with you. I would also like to tell you how can I kept my company alive and also my vision. And the main thing was that I tried not to do the same mistakes again. Try to get useful time to think, design, and manage the next steps. I try to find strength and courage not to quit, because that is an issue always. You always flirt with quitting. And I would like to tell anyone to work on the ability to fight and to know that no battle is earned without trying more and more. And as we all know from our lives, the victory is always there for those who don't afraid to step up again and again, no matter if it's the first try or not. And that is an issue for Greece that has to be, Greece is not the best country to deal with failure. There's always a matter with this. And this is my experience. I wish I could help anyone who thinks that he should try something new. I always tell to new tries. I always want new tries to come on the business, because that's the future. And everyone who wants that, he will make it. Evangelos.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
I wish I could be there. I'm in a mount on Heraklion due to a business fact that I have to be here.
Trying to sell some avocado products, right, Manolis?
No. I'm here as an engineering. I still work in parallel, Evangelos.
I know. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Manolis.
Have a nice day.
if it's if you have the ability to stay with us, it will be great because we have some questions from the audience. From
Sure, of course, of course. I
okay,
will be able to
thank you.
answer any questions
So
that might need it.
one question I can see here in the chat is about the most common causes of failure. And Anthony asked if it's this is poor sales or bad product. So Manolis, what do you think?
Let me be honest. When you start something, you're not able, when it's something innovative, you have to fulfill all requirements. Also the quality of the product and the stability of the product, which is very, very, very important. And the sales matter, which is also important. New markets and new goals. You have to be good to both of these issues. And if you want to enlarge the production and make it make profit from that, you have to ensure that the stability of the product will be surely there. Sometimes we had that kind of mistakes. We are enlarging the company now. We had a funding process that was succeeded, and the next day will be succeed anyway. But both of these issues are correct.
Okay. And in fact, if I understand well, sales is how can I say it? It's the moment of truth, right? Because you're prototyping, you're networking, you do a lot of things, but sales is a moment of truth, right? So
sales must be the first thing that any CEO of any company has to deal with. And if you don't give the time that is needed on sales facts, you're gonna pay that time later.
Okay. I have a personal opinion on this question, but I would like to hear from you.
The personal opinion of which of these two facts is the most important?
Yes, exactly. But I will tell you later about my personal experience.
Okay.
I think the first thing is to make a to give a very good product, reliable, and explain as easily as possible what are you doing and which problem or which necessity you are going to cover.
I believe that the most common mistakes of startups, and we see it also in our community of women do business, is that fact that we are trying to have the best product and then go out to the market. So when you are in an entry level and you're just a startup, for me as a saleswoman is first try to sell. I was selling cigarettes without even smoking. So if you can sell, you will have the money to make your product perfect. But if you don't sell, you will not have the money to make your product perfect. So it's both of them, but sales for me is crucial, it's fundamental.
I don't think there's any company out there that's deliberately creating a bad product. Okay, that would be a very funny way of doing business. So I think most products out there are good, and people are creating them, doing their best to make them as good as they can. The problem might be that the product is not solving a problem that anybody has, and then nobody will buy it. So again, sales will help you with that, because it's indeed the moment of truth. Somebody needs to go in his pocket or her pocket, put some money on the table and say, I want that. The moment they do that, you've won. If nobody does that, doesn't mean your product is bad. Just timing is not right. Okay. And timing is an important thing. It's something we haven't talked about yet, but every business needs a little bit of luck. Okay. You might be 10 years too early in the market. People do not understand what you're trying to sell them, but 10 years later, due to some changes, they all of a sudden do, and somebody else runs off with it. You might be 10 years late. Okay, so timing is important too. But again, to answer your question, I don't think there's bad products per se, but your product might not be solving a problem that anybody has.
Okay, thank you. I will not disagree with you. I will just want to add something here. The question was about the most common causes of failure. So, in addition to sales, in addition to a good product, I have to add the team. I have seen several cases before where the product was not good. So, for example, Mr. Dr. Hatzulakis, you have to change the product. You have to add some some feature to have additional feature, and also from all of you, from your experiences, I can see that if there is a need to change the product, you can do that. If there is a need to enhance sales, you can do that. But if there are significant problems in the team, then the whole thing goes wrong. I am sure that Ms. Pavlaki, you understand that. I am sure that you will not proceed besides the obstacles without having the team you have. And also for you, I think a team is a key factor that if something goes wrong there, then the probability of failure is greater than you cannot correct this very easily.
The great question and a great point. And as Manoli said, the common mistake is that startuppers are trying to do on their own, but team is a key factor, as we said. So for Women Do Business, we have a team of 35 people that they're supporting our vision. Otherwise, we couldn't do all of that we are doing. Or for StarSleep, when we started, it's like, okay, who is going to do the marketing? Who is going to do the sales? Who is going to do the web developing, and goes on and on. If you don't have a team and you miscommunicate, you don't have anything for me. you can't proceed.
I agree on that. And of course, in our company, after we saw these results, we start thinking, we not resign, start to thinking how to improve, and of course, increases the costs. But for the cooperatives then, or for big farmers, is very cheap in comparison with what they get back.
So as you understand, normally we will have a coffee break, but since there are a lot of questions and the discussion is interesting. Another question here from Harris that says that congratulations to all of you. As you all have established your company, you dream, you tried your best. May you faced with some failures and definitely with a lot of success. Now, with all this experience you carry forward, if there was change, if you were to start again from the beginning, what that have been? What will you change if we start over from the beginning?
I'm going to say two things.
Two things.
More time with my family, my wife and my kids, and my best friends. It gives you energy. It keeps you going. The people around you, and it's not all about business. And I guess the second thing would be worry a little bit less.
Okay.
I have nothing to do more than I said already.
Great question. So one thing I have asked myself several times about this question. There are many things that I would like to change, but I couldn't change because I didn't know earlier. So yeah, I would like to have like less time when I was in the multinational company US. Would spend less time as an employee. I will spend more time like inventing ideas or exploring ideas or like just being more confident, but I couldn't. So many times I've asked myself in that question, I wouldn't change a thing because if I would change a thing, I wouldn't be myself and I wouldn't create all these amazing things.
Manolis, what do you think? What
I
would you
would-
change if you have this ability, if you have this time machine that you can go back to the very beginning?
I would start from the funding process. I would like to do things easier. I might needed cooperatives in that vision, so I would do what things show me that I should do when I started. I should have more capital to start that thing. In that fact, I would do things much better than that I have already done.
Okay. And we have here also from Dimitris. Failures are missed opportunities, but what people need to realize is that opportunities always come and go, and you always get the upside of learning, which arguably is invaluable. I think this is a comment, but we would agree with that, right? And also from Anthony, another question here is that in situation where the best product doesn't always win, is it better to think of distribution as something essential to the design of your product? In simple words, if the product is not in the core of your value proposition, what else can be?
It has to fulfill a need that's out there. If it doesn't do that, nobody will pay for it. It doesn't matter. If your product is not fulfilling a need, nobody will buy it. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. No matter how much you love it and you like it and how beautiful it is and how great the design is, if it's not fulfilling a need, nobody will spend a penny on it.
I have to add on this because our product, for example, in Star Sleep, is not a problem exactly that we're needing. Is a product nice to have. So it's not like every people in the world, they want to sleep under the stars, but it's a niche market. So that means that we're addressing to a specific target group of nature lovers. So sometimes it's not like you have to invent the wheel in order to have a startup. You just have to try it and you have to have the pilot phase. And if you have sales, yes, you can go and fundraise and you can go the next step and the next step, and that goes on and on.
Manolis, what do you think? Because you are producing avocado-based products, right?
Yes, actually, if there's no need of your product, of course, you won't have any sales on it. But there's always needed coming up every day. We have to listen to that market needs and invest on those needs in order to produce any kind of products that could be healthy, that could be easier to use, that could be able to solve a problem of the market that will be solved with your proposal, with your product.
Yeah, I guess I have to agree with you guys. I mean, you said that you're making a product that's not solving absolute necessity. Although I would like to sleep under the stars, to be honest. I never even thought about it. So you open up a new market. Having said that, I guess another buzzword is, and it's something that Manolis just mentioned as well, is user experience. So if there are several products out there in the market and yours needs more sales, I think the easier you can make it for the user, the more beautiful, the more nice the experience is, the better the customer looks with it on his Instagram page or whatever, the more you will probably sell as well. And I think, especially with luxury products, and Gartman is one of those too, I think that their design can definitely sure help. I agree. I was too short on that before.
Yes, and in fact, I agree with this. In fact, even if you have a very innovative product in a niche market, and this should satisfy specific needs. Okay, so product or services are solutions to a problem. So there are solutions. Maybe this is a solution to Armstrong problem or two, but this does not change anything here. Okay, so I cannot see any new questions. Any new question on chat? Here. Okay. Great.
Yeah, because race.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, hello. As a question for everybody. You know, I learned now, I think, because Eddie said that he doesn't like to say failure. Neither do I. But when I listen this talk, I am going to say now, I am not failure. I am prototyping my life. Because what is failure? It's prototyping. No, but you say McDonald's do hamburgers and they are prototyping every day. It doesn't work, take it away. It is not a failure, it was prototyping. But the question was, like, for all of you, please tell us something that we didn't ask. For example, Eddie was looking the time that because we just have 15 minutes to get the talk. So I think you take out something in your talk that because you didn't have time. So I would like you to ask, what would you say that we didn't ask you? If you have an extra minute to say something, like if we are drinking coffee or beer or something.
Okay.
My shoe size is 43. I like your comment on prototyping, and I totally agree. And I guess you are seen in the Western world as a failure if your prototype doesn't become the next best thing. I mean, I don't know how it is in Greece. Manolis said something that it's a tough one here to fail. In Austria, if you're not becoming as big as Red Bull, then you're nothing. Your company's nothing. And there's tons of companies out there who make maybe $500,000 or $1 million a year. They have got 5-6 people working there. They're all happy. They're doing something good, either for the environment or for social things or whatever, and they're doing a great job. That is more successful than anything else, I think. But failure is when your prototype never becomes Red Bull, and I disagree. Okay, so I agree with you. Maybe thing that we haven't told, or I haven't told. Yeah, again, two things. I'm being greedy today. First thing, and I mentioned it before, don't forget about the people around you. They might not be able to help you with €1 million of finance. They might not be able to help you redesign your product. But when they're your friends or your family, they damn sure will listen to you, and they will give you a hug when you're completely down, and they will help you get on your legs, or they will also tell you, get the fuck out of there because it's not going to work. Open your eyes, try something else. It's okay. Do you want to be an entrepreneur, but do something else. I think I try to do too much on my own, and it's a common technical entrepreneurial thing. Technical people know everything. We know everything. We can do everything. We know everything. That's just the way it is. Other people are stupid. So I guess that's one thing. And another thing is when the shit hits the fan, when real problems arise, and we discussed it this morning as well, if you ignore little problems too long, they become huge problems. Be open and honest about them. Face them. Go to your partners, go to your bank, go to your suppliers, whatever, and say, listen, we got a problem here. Because as I told you in my Excel sheet, we're going to be millionaires by now, but sales is not hitting up. We got to change something. So I can't pay you this month, or can I please pay a month later? Or if you talk to people, you'll be surprised how willing they are to find a solution. You put your head in the sand and ignore it, you'll be surprised how aggressive they'll come for you.
Amazing question, Ernesto. Thank you for that. I was thinking like what I didn't share. I believe that is the emotional part that I referred a little is that I feel guilt almost every day. Guilt about why this didn't go well, guilt about my boyfriend, guilt about my partners, guilt about almost everything. I feel guilt almost every day because I feel every day that I'm not fulfilling the goals that I should have. So this is the one thing. And the other thing, there is like, we had this proposal from an accelerator with investors for StarSleep, and we had like 50% possibilities to take an investment of 102,000 euro. And we rejected it because we thought that the terms wasn't good enough for us. So I'm not sure for this decision now, to tell you the truth, now that we're in the sales, because we were like, okay, we have 2 months, we have to sail, we will sail. And today after this phone call, I'm like, okay, maybe we should take this possibility of 50% and take this 120,000 euro, but the story will show.
One thing that I have to take into consideration our company is that we didn't pay too much attention on the communication. Maybe because we are at the beginning, a small company, we didn't pay a lot of money, spend a lot of money on communication. So nowadays it is very important how and to have the right person to communicate your product.
And just because this is my major question to you, Mr. Hadzoulakis, is that you see that the acceptance is not as you expected, okay? And you change the product. Why you change the product? Why you haven't changed, for example, distribution? You haven't changed promotion? You haven't changed other things, other important marketing mixes?
We are not familiar with all these things.
Okay.
So we are now started. Since we are from the first in the market and we had the experience and worldwide, that it will be okay. As I farmers change very, very difficult their mentality. They adopt much slower any innovation than other parts of the society. But now we are going to spend some money on that. Of course, companies going well, and we develop new products, for example, agricultural portals for the municipalities. So we have a under consideration to move also towards this direction.
Great. Manolis, would you like to add something on this?
I would like to add that success is a matter of many different issues. No one can tell anyone what is the key of success. We just have to focus to our targets and keep fighting. That's it.
fighting every day.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Sorry, maybe one last comment to that. What I also have experienced, and maybe you have another opinion on that, but what is very, very important is to have a network. Networking is very, very important. I think one of the questions was, sometimes an opportunity goes away and then another one comes up. Sometimes a door closes and another one opens. If you don't talk to anybody, if you don't share with anything, if you don't go out there and even talk about your failures or your problems, nobody will come by and say, well, I can help you with that. If you sit at home watching your television or staring at the ceiling in fear and thinking that you're going to die and everything's bad and you're stupid and you're frustrated and whatever, then nothing's going to happen. So, I mean, they actually did an experiment on that, I think, in Silicon Valley. Especially technical startups, they think I got to keep it secret as long as I can. And then as soon as I open it to the world, everybody will buy it and I will be a millionaire next day. That's not how it works. And trust me, nobody will steal your idea just like that. There aren't so many good ideas. And plus, a lot of people out there know who've done business that just the idea is not good enough. You're still going to have to invest in marketing. You're going to have to invest in this and that and that. Anyway, so they did this investigation in Silicon Valley. The companies who got most successful were the people with the largest network and who talked constantly about their product and about what they were doing, because then they got constant feedback and constantly changed it. They went bankrupt within a year. 9 out of 10, we discussed it. Maybe it's 8 out of 10, but it's a lot. We're the people who were sitting on their idea. Don't do that. Go out, talk to people.
And adding that, you will be surprised on how many people there are out there to help you. For me, I'm constantly asking help, and there's always amazing people to help us, either on Women Do Business or Start Sleep. We've been mentoring from amazing people, and it was like just, hey, I have this business idea. Would you like to give me your feedback? And everyone is always saying yes. So I agree totally. Share your idea.
Okay, great. And since we have discussed failures, we have tried to give a definition, I would like to pose some question regarding what's important, the fear to failure, okay, which is something else. So, have you experienced this fear in the very beginning, or how one can fight this fear to failure? Okay.
Oh God, yeah. I've since I've become an entrepreneur, I now know what panic attacks are. I never had that before. I know now what they are. We only have two operative modes as human beings. We can either attack or we can flee. I mean, it's a known fact, right? There's the only two things that you can do. And being under constant stress of wanting to flee or being afraid that you're gonna get attacked or killed or whatever is gonna make you sick. It's gonna make you unhappy. And for what? Just because you might lose some money, maybe at the end of the day, maybe. I think making yourself aware of the fact that you're in this mode, that you're in the flight mode, that you want to flee, automatically helps you to come out of it and say, "Hell, I don't want to flee. I want to attack. How can I attack? What do I need to do? Where am I missing something? Is it money? Is it sales? Whatever." But yeah, you will all enjoy this wonderful feeling of
And
fear.
what other people would say if I fail? Okay.
Is how we appear to others. So what they will say if we fail, it's the social stigma, as we said before. I'm fearing every day, every morning, every night. I can't sleep. Is a constant feeling that I have. But we have to say that, as Reese said before, some people are made to be entrepreneurs. And when I mean made, I don't believe that someone is so talented to be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is something that you learn. This skill set that you learn, and you can be better and better and better every day if you want to have this set of feelings, good and bad. Because, for example, me, as I said, I wasn't a good employee.
I hated to have other people in my head. I hated to have a specific horario. I hate some things. I wanted to be more creative. I wanted to communicate with people, other creative and empowerment and be inspirement and all these things. So there are bad things, and of course, not sharing only, but the only bad things. They're the good things. It depends if you want secure or if you don't want secure. If you don't want secure, you can be an entrepreneur, and you have just to admit and accept that you will have always the full of feelings almost every day.
Try to make a company small or big has this feel of a failure in his mind. But if this is dominant, it's better to stop. Without risk, there is no progress. So this is the key word, risk. And this was our decision to risk since there is market.
Okay, thank you. And Manolis, what about you? We cannot hear you. I think you should unmute your microphone, Manolis. No?
Andoli, it should be at the bottom left.
Sorry.
Okay.
I said that if fears shade your vision, just don't do it.
Okay.
It's so simple. You have to face your vision, you have to believe in it, and when you fully believe to your vision, you're never afraid of any fear. You know that some bad days will come, and it might not be that easy that you think about, but at the end of the day, you can make it.
And a relevant question here, a related question here. I would like Eri to answer to this, but I would also ask all of you to comment on this. Is failure a bigger issue for women, particularly for regarding the social stigma you mentioned? Okay, that's the question.
My favorite topic.
I knew about this.
Okay, so there is this survey that says that women, we don't share our successes so commonly as men because we don't feel comfortable about sharing our successes. Even for myself, when I was sharing my presentation, I was saying like, I have done this, I was like awarded this, I wasn't feeling comfortable. And this survey from Google, it says that even if it's a fact that we have done it, still we're afraid to say it in public because we feel that they're going to say that we are, I don't know, we are bragging about ourselves. They have done another survey in companies, and they're saying that men are more commonly to say that I did this. Women, it's more commonly to say we did this, but as a result, men are promoting and women are not. So if we're afraid the failure, yet we're afraid of failure more than men, because there are so many stereotypes and we constantly have to be perfect. So if we fail, the stigma is more for us and the stereotypes are more for us. My parents is like, go get married and live entrepreneurship, you know? And this is the common life for most of the women, not only in Crete, in the whole world. That's why entrepreneurship in European level, female entrepreneurship is like 34 point something percent. In Crete is 26 point something percent. And even if in Crete is 26 point something percent, when you see the data, most of female and enterprises are only in the name of women, and they're running by men. It's crazy. So this is what we're seeing also in Women Do Business, that most of women, they're like, I have to be perfect. I have to have the perfect site. I have to have the perfect business model. And we're like, no, you don't. You just go out and you will be perfect by doing. Women, they're applying in a job when they fulfill almost 90% of the requirements. Men, they're applying on a job if they fulfill the 65% of the requirements. And I believe, yeah, I believe that answers your question. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I find it still very disturbing and upsetting that in the 21st century, we are still having these discussions and we need quotes, etc. There are so many groupings out there, and don't get me wrong, there's so many groupings out there working for a lot of minorities, like gay people, transsexual people, people from certain religions, whatever. And there's a lot of discussion going on there. And I always like to say that the largest minority in the world, which is only 51% of the world population, is still structurally being ignored, structurally being abused, not getting the same rights, not getting, and apparently nobody gives a damn. I find that very, very disturbing. I had my first startup. We were always run on low on cash, almost Apfelstrudel, 70% female employees. And my female accountant basically said, well, if you want to save some money, then just pay them 30% less because that's normal in Austria. All right. This was a her. I said, that's a great idea. I'll just pay everybody 30% less. And that's what we did. It got us through. But just to give you, yeah, I cannot understand the battles you have to fight behind the curtains every day. And I think it's a shame. It's shameful. And wherever I can, I'm allowed to talk about it. I will say it out loud, and I will definitely should do something against it. And I think everybody should.
Okay. Manolis, would you like to add something? I don't know if you have some experience on this.
1/3 of our workers are women.
Okay. Okay.
I would also, sorry, but he opened the sack now. I just wanted to add also that in startup ecosystem, 1 to 5 founders are female, 1 to 5. And also in fundraising and VCs, most VCs, they're looking for women, they're not feeling that they're fulfilling criteria, they're not applying, or they're not so many, or if they apply, most VCs, they're not funding women, and, is going on and on. I was pitching in this competition, and we were like 10 companies, and from 10, I was the only woman. And it's not only their mistake because they didn't have enough application. So it's both ways, but still, if there are these surveys, even if for academics, if you have the evaluations and students, they're evaluating their professors and they have to evaluate a woman and a man, they will evaluate always better a man, because in their mind, they have this perception that a man is always better teacher, better professor, is so deep-rooted. So it's going on and on almost in everything.
If I could maybe add something briefly to that, because I also find it a very, very important topic. One of the arguments you very often hear as well, and also in the payment, etc., is that, yeah, but this woman will get a child at some point, and then she's out of the business for 6 months or maybe a year or 2 years. And that's a problem. So we're living in a world right now where we're talking about innovation every minute of the day, and where we flew to the moon and we're creating global networks, 5Gs, self-driving cars, etc. But we're not able to solve the simple thing that is around for the last 100,000 years, that when we want to exist, some of us will have to get children, and they are going to take care of them for at least a couple of months before that baby can walk and talk, or, you know, can we really not find any solutions there that we can provide that work, that we find structures and invest in structures that can take that, so that both male and female are free to make the decision, whatever it is that they want. If they want to go to work, they want to stay at home, whatever. But we seem to fail there completely. And again, I don't understand. 51% of our world population suffers under this, but we want iPhone 15s. I'm sorry, it's crazy.
Another thing is on entrepreneurship is that if you want to have a family, you don't have any allowance. So if you're working in a company or wherever, if you can have a paternity leave is another thing. If you take it, at least in Greece, you can have a maternity leave and you have a government allowance. But if you're an entrepreneur, you have most of female entrepreneurs I know, they gave birth and the next day they were in their enterprises.
And this somehow creates a paradox. So I can see that someone raised his hand. Michalis, can
Yes.
Hello.
I have a relevant comment. I would like to communicate a research result we had from a program about female entrepreneurship, and we had conducted a survey about 2,000 entrepreneurs, female and male, and it was about women. The big difference is about seeking support. Female are seeking for support, and that's why most of the business they're having, they are more viable, while the men are less familiar about seeking support. They don't ask. They cannot
Their egos aside.
accept that they don't know something. They know everything. While we communicate, we ask for emotional support, about consulting, everything. We don't know anything. So it's very important to seek for support or consulting.
so I can see that yes. Can you hear us? You raise your hand, so we can make your question, please.
Okay, am I audible? Okay, so my name is Yash and I am a master student at TU Freiburg in Germany. And as I have a question for Mr. Baumann, and as he said that you need to really keep networks alive, you know, I mean, you need to maintain good networks in order to have a startup and continue on to making a good business, and even during your business is running. So my question is, what is the best way to keep or build a network, you know, or to keep a network alive? So what usually happens is that you initially have a connection and then later on it drops over a period of time, you know, when there is some particular need that is required for both individuals, you have a connection. But how do we usually keep the network going, you know? So one thing that you mentioned was as Miss mentioned, that you go out and talk to people, but that is one thing. But what are some of the others as well?
It's a great question, Yash. And I'll ask a very stupid question back. Do you have any friends?
Yes,
Yeah, you do?
definitely.
Wonderful. So what do you do with them? You visit them once every 2 years. You ping them an email saying, give me 20 euros because I want to go to the cinema tonight and I have no money. And then you don't call them back for 6 months.
No, not
So
really. You keep
there you
going ahead.
go. You're dealing with people. All right. You're dealing with people, and either you want something from them or they want something from you. As soon as one of these two persons starts feeling that it's a one-way street, you'll lose that person. If you want the relationship to be maintained and keep on going, you have to bring something to the mix as well, something to the table. That can be different things, right? Maybe they think you're very funny and they like to go out with you, and it's great. And in exchange, they'll talk to you about your business, whatever. Maybe that person needs something one day, and then you can give him or her something back. So, you know, go out there, talk to people you've never talked to, send out a letter. That's what I like to do. If I sometimes want to reach out to a certain company, I do it a very old-fashioned way. I take a very big envelope, put an A4 letter in there, handwritten, and basically ask my question. 99 out of 100, they call you back. I'm not saying you're getting what you want, but at least you're getting a conversation, you're getting up front to them, and then the chemistry has to work as well. It's all about people. If the person who's sitting in front of you thinks that you look like the guy who stole his girlfriend last week, you're not going to get anything. It's as simple as that. You can't win. If, however, he or she, for whatever reason, really likes you, and you know, you get into a relationship, it's like that. And relationships need work. You need to work on them.
Okay, we have another question here. That from Triadaphilos. I don't know if it's possible to give a simple answer to that. Is it easier to sell your idea or prototype of business, or make it real yourself? I don't know how we can answer to this. Or to actually make it by yourself.
Hey, hell, if it works, sell it. You know, the problem will probably be the following: you have a great idea, and an investor will come by and say, "I like the idea, but I've done this business before, and it's going to cost me 200,000 euros to develop it. Then it's going to cost me 200,000 euros to you know, start the market, and I'll need to hire some people, and it's going to cost me 2 years of my time and my money, plus interest, etc. So it's probably going to be something like 600,000-700,000 euros that I'm going to have to invent. I estimate your company to 605,000 euros. Here's 5,000 euros, and I'll take your idea." That's what's going to happen. If you're happy with that, you know, there's people living off that. They're, you know, coming up with ideas and selling them, but don't expect to become a millionaire of that.
Yeah, even if the idea is so unique, great, innovative, you still have to sell it. And in order to sell it, you have to have data. In order to have data, you have to have the prototype. In order to have the prototype, and goes on and on. So most of the ideas and most of the investors, they are looking for people, and they are looking for teams. First, they are investing on the team, on the person that is going to sell, is going to move forward, and of course, with the package, if they have a great idea. So I don't see how this can be sustainable, to tell you the truth. Yeah. It's more energy to find how to sell it than actually doing it, you know?
That's right. I know that Manolis Lerakis has
Vangeli,
other obligations.
I would like to answer that question also.
Yes, please.
There is no idea. The meaning of an innovative idea is not is not financial issue. I mean, when you have something that it's valuable for you, and it is really good, you don't want to sell it. You just want to develop it. And if it worth so many money after a couple of years, you might want to sell it, or you just want to keep developing it to other paths. So whoever starts with the motivation of selling an idea has to be informed that no ideas are sold well if they don't prove that they are useful, and that they also cover a demand of the market. So I wouldn't advise any of those guys that thinking of selling ideas that is a very, very easy issue, and that is not a good motivated, not good motivated plan. That's what I would advise.
Okay.
Just to add that one of the trick questions that VCs are doing to founders is if you have a strategy, an exit strategy, as I was referring in the morning, and this is a trick question because if you indeed have considered an exit strategy, that means that you want to sell your product. They are not going to invest in you because you are not engaged with what you are doing, and you are showing them that you don't believe it. So.
Exactly. Manolis, thank you. I know that you have other obligations, so please free to.
I'm in a construction site and I have to return.
Yes. Okay. Thank you once again. That despite being in the mountains of Crete, despite being inside the car, you are able to join us. Thank you, Manolis.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.
I cannot see other questions. So I think just to close now, this is not a question. It's a remark. It's a comment, and somehow you have mentioned it and emphasized it during our discussion. Is that when you try to make a company, when you try to make an innovative product, you are not just making a product. Maybe you are trying to make your dream come true. Okay, so you are happy working on your idea. The final result is part of you. You are happy working with specific people. So it's not simple. I don't know. Squares in the business canvas or sales or excels with financial data. It's all of that, right? Okay. We all agree on that. Okay, so thank you so much for the discussion. I'm sure that this was very interesting. Also to the online audience. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Before Ernesto, just a second. That's fine. Enthusiasm is great in all aspects of life. So before you conclude the InnoForum, we would like to thank all of our esteemed speakers and our moderator, Dr. Grigoroudis. This actually concludes the InnoForum event. Shortly, there's going to be the InnoExpo part of today's activities. Some of our speakers are actually participating in that as well, and we thank them for that. So concluding the InnoForum event, we would like to thank you all, those present in this room as well as attending us from online. Hope to see you again in such an event in the future, here or elsewhere. Learn from one another in an innovative way, in innovative ways. So thank you very much again. And we are going to move to the next part, which is not hybrid, I'm afraid, but only kept to those who are present here. Thank you very much for your attendance and participation.